My new profile picture that I absolutely adore was made by One Tohi on Instagram. Go check them out. I encourage you to do so. Actually, you know what? Not encourage you to do so. I demand you to do so. And if you do not, I will tear your soul from your body. Moving on to the video. So why may you be asking? I'm talking about CreepShow art once again on my channel. Despite my last uploads mostly being about CreepShow art and my last video just being a break from it, mostly because I could not find anything on the topic at that point, new information has arisen because, you know, that happens basically every day at this point. Recently, another long Twitter thread from Kevin Coulter on Twitter, backing up the evidence from the Emily Artful video exposing CreepShow art, which I'm gonna be real, it wasn't very much necessary because Shannon has already put the nail in her coffin, but it's good to know this information being spread so that we can have more awareness and insight on the situation. And as well as backing up Emily's video, guess who also did that? CreepShow art. Yes, Mrs. CreepShow art Shannon herself backed up that own statement. Basically, in an interview she didn't necessarily outright state that she did it, but she inadvertently stated that she had stalked Emily Artful and then used that story as her own. Which again, I don't really need to explain all of the things that have happened up until this point. If you'd like an explanation on that and this is your first video of mine watching, first of all, hi, hello, and go check out my last couple of videos on the CreepShow art situation where I basically explain a lot of things and go digging into the past things that have happened if you'd like some context on that. Now, before I do get into the Twitter thread of Kevin Coulter, I'd like to quickly ask you all these things because I'm a massive piece of living human garbage, but I digress. If you have never seen me on the platform YouTube before, hello, I'm Salty and I make these sorts of videos all the time. So if you enjoy these types of videos, I would really encourage you to go down and subscribe, as well as turning on post notifications. It would help out the channel a lot and it would just really motivate me to make more content more frequently and higher quality ones at that. As well as watching through the entire video itself, it'll only cost you about a dozen minutes of your time, and it would aid me in my goal to be able to get monetized so that I could make higher quality content for you all. And if you are intrigued by my content and or personality, even though I have none and I am just a YouTuber, you can go check out my Twitter. It is down in the description and it's also up on screen now, where I tweet haha funnies and unfiltered opinions and take on certain situations. So if you'd like to go see that, I'd recommend going following, as well as if you really enjoy my videos and you want to meet a community of people who also enjoy my videos that you may share common interests with, I would recommend going down and joining my Discord server. We just talk about like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure a lot, and you know, it's cool. You will also be notified about my videos just in case YouTube is being whack and doesn't notify you, even though the bot like notifies you like 3 hours before the video actually drops. But with all of that out of the way, I will go on to the actual video topic at hand. Basically, Kevin had made a long Twitter thread detailing their story with Shannon, as well as backing up claims from CreepShow art. Wait, what? CreepShow art? I meant to say Emily Artful, excuse me. Get ready, because I suck at reading, and I stutter a lot, and I'm lazy. So I'm not gonna re-record it. I never thought I'd find myself related to a situation like this, but I'm absolutely in the business of holding people accountable for their actions, so I'd like to share what I know between the situation between CreepShow art and Emily Artful. In the interest of preventing doxing, I'm not going to include any information that might put someone in danger, but if it becomes necessary for either a court case or if things get wildly out of control, I can provide more specifics. Holy, can I speak? I met Shannon on my freshman year of college in 2011. We shared an English class and worked on a group project together. Outside of that, at the time, we didn't have much contact. I ended up leaving that school and attending a community college that was close to my hometown. At that school, I ended up meeting my abuser. She ended up completely separating me from my entire support group, and I lost nearly all of my friends. There was a period of a few months where my abuser and I broke up. This is where I reconnected with Shannon. Shannon ended up in the same community college as me, saw me on campus, and stopped me to say hi. I was desperate to make new friends, so this just seemed like a blessing. She was fine at the beginning, we just hang out and share music, but she became very concerning very quickly. It started with her introducing me to Anthony's music. She told me that he was her ex. They were still in a sexual relationship. The way he treated her seemed very unhealthy, and I told her as such, but Shannon was insistent that he was good for her. Eventually, she shared one of Anthony's music videos that featured Emily and told me that Emily was also Anthony's ex. Shannon told me that Emily was crazy and Anthony only kept her around because she was a good singer, among the other things. For the next while, every time Shannon and I would hang out, she would fixate entirely on Emmy. She would point out all of what she perceived as Emily's flaws, would talk about how all of her tattoos related to Anthony somehow, everything she could do to put her down. I thought it was strange to fixate so much on an ex's ex, but I was desperate for anyone to help me out of the situation I was in, so I ignored a lot of the red flags. I haven't been really able to forgive myself for that, especially considering what came next. Shannon began to cyberstalk Emily, first starting by finding her YouTube page. She shared videos with me, and I naively thought it was harmless and it would go no further, but Shannon started looking for her home address, her phone number, or any other info she could find. Shannon told me how she had plans to harass Emily either by sending her letters on prank calling her home, or how she had planned to leave hate messages on her videos or DM her from burner accounts to spread hate. This is when I began to distance myself from Shannon. The distance led me back to my abuser, which is a different story, but one of my last interactions with Shannon was her proudly showing me that Emily had posted a video about her closing her YouTube channel because of the harassment she was receiving. Emily talked about how much it hurt to lose something that was important to her. She was so anxious from the pain from the targeted harassment that she couldn't continue, and it was at that point that I began to cut Shannon off. I felt guilty since that day because I didn't do anything sooner. That I didn't go to the police with what I knew, or at least attempt to talk to Shannon to tell her what she was doing wasn't okay, but I was battling my own demons, and none of that seemed like an option. Over the years, I would occasionally receive cryptic messages from Shannon at weird hours of the night, usually just a single emoji or a strangely written greeting. This caused me to block her on most of my social media. Since then, I've deleted or rebanded my online presence to avoid my abuser, but about a year ago, Shannon found all my new accounts and added me with no contact. I used this as an opportunity to confront her for what she did, the screenshots of that in the next tweet. I made it a habit to screenshot my actions because my abuser had recently begun to spread incredibly harmful rumors about me. I don't have screenshots of her response because her account has been deleted, but I requested my data from Twitter to see today if I could get it. Hey there, it's been a while. I'm not sure how you found me, but it's nice to see a face from my past. I'm glad to see that you have a pretty sizable following now and you have found some sort of success. I hope you're doing okay. Other than that, life is pretty wild nowadays. When we last talked, we engaged in some very concerning behavior, and I was in a really dark place from Victoria. You were basically my only friend, so I just ignored how bad everything was, and that was very wrong of me. What began as what appeared at the time a fun little thing to learn more about. Wait, what the Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't read, it's so small. What began as what appeared at the time a fun little thing to learn more about someone you had a tangential connections with quickly developed into cyberstalking, bullying, and harassment. What happened was not okay, and I should have said something sooner. I should have said something at the time, but I didn't, and that really weighed on me over the years, so I guess I'm saying something now. We were younger and dumber, but we still should have known better. It seems a lot of your content is focused on calling out people who have had similar behavior, and I hope that's a sign that you've changed for the better. I'd like to believe that you've changed quite a bit since we last spoke, and a whole lot of it has damaged me. I've made great efforts to cut off large portions of my life from when we were friends. I'm concerned, very hesitant to let people into my life as it stands. I'm not accusing you of anything malicious or that you have bad intentions. I've always just got a conspiracy that my theory brain nowadays. Victoria consistently stalked me for years after we officially broke up, and when she finally lost her last shred of contact with me, she started spreading extremely malicious lies about me just so that she could have some sort of control. I lost a lot because of it, and I've learned not to trust things and not to believe in Holy, why is it so small? This is pissing me off. Coincidences, excuse me, Jesus Christ. It might not be a true lesson, but it is a lesson I learned. I've deleted my Facebook. I'm fairly certain I have you blocked on Instagram, which was either something Victoria had me do, or I did it as an effort to distance myself from my past, get over the guilt. I'm not sure exactly what the reason is, but it's fair to give you an explanation. I know I've rebranded my social media presence after we stopped talking, so I feel like to find me, you'd have to be actively looking for me, or you've been keeping tabs on me ever since, and either situation sets off a whole lot of alarms in my head. Oh my god. Again, I'm not accusing you of doing anything malicious. I'm accusing me of paranoia, but I am still concerned. And double again, I really genuinely hope you're doing well. It just stresses me out a whole lot to have contact with anyone apart from my life. I'm sorry. I am so very sorry for that. Now I'm going to move on to the next ones. Hold on. Victoria, referenced in that screenshot, is my abuser. I use language that includes myself in the past actions because I was afraid of her targeting me, and if she hadn't changed, and I just came out completely confronting her. Shannon's response was to brush off accountability, saying, "We were just dumb kids." She'd also insisted that she found me naturally, which didn't make sense because we had no similar circles, and I even had a smaller following back then. She immediately said she would block me, so I guess I didn't have to be concerned about her, which didn't seem like an action a guiltless person would take. I thought it was over. I didn't know how much she was doing to hurt other people, but it seems like she never really changed from when I knew her. My heart goes out to everyone she hurt and everyone who thought they could trust her. This is such a terrible situation, and if anyone needs an ear, feel free to reach out. It becomes necessary, I can reopen my Facebook and try to download the data there, as I believe I have further evidence of Shannon's behavior, but I hope this chapter can close and people can find some way to heal from the damage that she has caused. Now, through all of that rambling, stuttering mess where I mess up every single word during every single second, I hope you could understand the main point of the fact that this is backing up a lot of the evidence coming out from people like Emily Artful, etc., etc., which I am so glad that this is actually coming out. It's great and amazing, despite me not being able to read it because the text was so tiny and I stuck at reading, as well as speaking, which is kind of ironic since I'm a commentary channel, but I digress. And even saying the fact that she would literally fixate over Emily and Emily's flaws alone, which, bruh. If that's not a Shannon thing to do, and if that's not proving that Shannon is, guilty, then I don't know what is. But I know what you all came for in this video. You've been waiting and waiting. Salty, just please, 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 Salty, just show us where CreepShowart actually admits up to stalking Emily Artful. Now, like I said, again, she didn't necessarily say that, hey, I stalk Emily Artful, I fixate over her flaws. She had indirectly exposed herself for being a stalker of Emily Artful. Now, basically, if you didn't get any context from this, you should go to my past video that's like 27 minutes long. I know it's going to be a wild ride, and you're going to be very, very tired by the end. But I encourage you to go watch it to get some context, but I'll basically explain. Now, at one point, Emily Artful had actually IP traced the people that were harassing her back to Oregon. I can't say Oregon. I meant Oregon, same thing. And basically, Shannon, in a clip that I will play in a couple of seconds after I'm done explaining, had stated that she was in Oregon and she would go to a specific Starbucks and library to draw for hours and hours and make videos. Now, if that doesn't sound familiar, then again, go watch my last video and Emily Artful's video, link in description. But without further ado, I shall play the clip for you.
Would go every day to a Starbucks or to the Tiger Public Library, and I would sit and I would just draw for hours trying to get one video done.
Who are sticking along here. So she outright states that she would go to make art in a specific Starbucks and or library, which that has been IP traced back to the exact same spot of the haters or the harassers or attackers. Now, overall, what do I think of the situation? I am now basically 80% to 90% to 100% on the fact that Shannon is guilty. Shannon has ghosted her social media trying to go into legal so that she could prove she's 100% innocent, and this was all Amy's doing, but we haven't gotten a single peep out of Shannon since then. Now, something I have learned from this situation is the fact that silence doesn't mean compliance. So Shannon being silent doesn't necessarily mean that she's guilty, because if I were to say that, then I would be saying that all of her friends who haven't came out about their experience with Shannon are compliant, which they aren't. They're perfectly valid in not coming out if they are not comfortable to, or if they just honestly don't care. I don't have a problem with that. You do what you want with your experiences because they are your experiences. But you can leave your opinions on this entire situation in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, I would really consider subscribing. It's something you can do for free, and you can always unsubscribe later. And if you gotten to this point, thank you, because you have probably added on to my goal of being monetized, so thank you so much for that. If you'd like to follow my Twitter so you can get unfiltered opinions and takes as well as haha funny memes, go follow my Twitter. And if you want to meet a community of people that share the same interest of you of liking my videos, go join my Discord server. That'll really mean a bunch. We basically just talk about JoJo. Alright, see you in the next one. Peace.